I mean, for the neutral, it must have been pretty entertaining, quite end-to-end. The second half, much better than the first half, which is good to see. You like to see that Potter is a proactive manager. When he sees something isn't going right, he can make the changes, he can move players into different positions. It was really, really good. And yeah, the second half, I think, was a lot more comfortable. Free kick, very good from Mace. Maybe the keeper could have done it a bit better. But overall, one of the games where you look back in 2 months' time and you go, cool, Chelsea won that 2-0, don't have to think too much more about it.
You're absolutely spot on. This tweet, I think, kind of sums up the mood of the afternoon as well, which is, who'll be man of the match between Mount and Kepa? So, Leonie, who'll be man of the match between Mount and Kepa?
Oh, put me on the spot. Thank you for that. Can they share it, maybe? I mean, they were both brilliant, weren't they? And the fact that we're debating two players for man of the match, what a lovely position to be in. Kepa saved us in the first half, and Mount obviously sealed the win in the second half. So maybe they can do sort of half and half throughout the week.
Do you know, I think it's a great point. Are you going Kepa?
Kepa, yeah, Kepa.
Then I'll shelve it. Mount, you've got the deciding vote, Leonie.
Oh, gosh.
The first half saves were actually incredible. Like, there are several saves there where it doesn't matter whether it's Alisson, Ederson, Casillas, you name it. Like, they're unbelievable. Like, those are saves you'll see on like historic, like world's best goalkeeping saves. Like they were mad.
What's your argument? Sorry for Mason Mount.
I mean, he scored 2 goals. He's taken both really well. You know, and he's been so good recently. The one thing that everybody that's not a Chelsea fan will lay at Mason Mount's door is he doesn't create enough goals. He doesn't score enough goals. In the last 6 days, he's got 2 assists and 2 goals in 2 games.
Not too bad.
He's absolutely flying at the moment, and especially as well, we're coming into this new era under Graham Potter. There's perhaps an opportunity for someone to step up and you know, really kind of lay a marker down to be the guy, and I think Mason Mount's doing that. So I think fairly, you've made a great point, Leonie. Both deserve to share it. There's plenty of opportunities for both players to go on and continue their highlight reel. Quite a lot of reaction coming in, obviously, rightly so, for this afternoon. This one, Kepa is a monster. Oh my God, saying yes. He was fantastic in the first half, wasn't he? That triple save from Kepa my keeper, from Amaka. That's a really good tweet, because it's right. Even the double save, you're cheering the double save, and then he makes a third save, doesn't he? Fantastic.
Was offside,
Kepa.
but
That is unbelievable. Yeah, you're right. He
the
doesn't
cross
always
one as
offside,
well.
does
The
he?
one from the header from I can't remember who headers it, but it's an unbelievable save as well, man.
Expected Kepa's expected goals. It's a fantastic save, and again, you know, Leonie, the big thing is we've had this conversation countless times over the last 18 months or so. Edu Mendy's been in great form. Kepa gets an opportunity. Kepa's in great form. Mendy's got to do something to get back in. He gets an opportunity. He keeps the gloves towards the end of the season. What a fantastic position to be in if you're Graham Potter.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, to have both excellent goalkeepers, and at the moment, Kepa looks immovable. Yeah,
it's healthy competition, isn't it? And Potter spoke about it this week as well. And you know, it's a great position for him to be in. They're both brilliant keepers, but Kepa at the moment, absolutely no reason not to start him.
No, absolutely right, and we are going to speak a lot more about Kepa on Wednesday evening's Matchday Live. So yeah, make sure you get all your tweets in for that one on Wednesday evening ahead of the Brentford game. Zach, just talking about Mason Mount, then continuing on the other contender for player of the match this afternoon. 2 goals, both brilliantly taken, you know, and especially the free kick in the second half, because there are question marks you have about the goalkeeper, but ultimately, if you've got a free kick, the one thing that you always say to anyone taking a free kick is hit the target. Just hit the target.
Yeah, and I think people will sit there and go, oh, the keeper's had a mare there or has made it easy, whatever. But I think he's only done that because of the technique Mason has put on it. There's obviously that clip of him when he was younger about the swerve and hitting it on the valve. But that's kind of what he did there today. Like, he made it... It's so hard to do that kind of knuckleball technique and get the dip on it so quickly, because the only reason, unless Martinez has had an absolute shocker, but the only reason you're not putting your hands up to go and save that or try and diving for it properly is you think you have full confidence it is going over the bar until it takes that last minute dip, which it obviously did. And you can kind of see the shock on his face when it happens, and you go, oh no, this is coming straight at me actually in the end. I'm reacting too late. And that's all because of the technique that Mount has taken. And yeah, it's a really good strike. And I mean, people again will complain about the first goal, and obviously that it was a gift from Tyrone Mings, but you've got to be there in the right time. You've got to be predicting this stuff, and these are goals that, yeah, sure, they might have had a little bit of a helping hand, but it only happens because of Mason even predicting it or having the right technique and and not every footballer can do that.
You're absolutely right.
Do that.
You're absolutely right. You make your own luck, don't you? And,
Indeed. Yeah.
There's a lot of brilliant tweets coming in on social media about Mason's performance this afternoon. It's Mason Mount again, Chelsea's most informed player under Graham Potter. You're absolutely right. He's the only person to have started all 5 outfield games. Where was those stats of Mason Mount, 0 goals and 0 assists again? Absolutely right. He's silenced anyone that's put any question marks at his door the last couple of games. Mount is overcooking this season. I'm very happy. He's been fantastic. You know, he really
overcooking, hasn't he?
He really has been brilliant as well.
Yeah.
And again, Leonie, I think there's a huge amount of pressure, especially in the run-up to a World Cup in this time of the season. You know, there's a lot of talk about any English player at the moment from the English media specifically. Gareth Southgate's in the stands today. That's always made a big deal of whichever game he's at.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's got to be said, Mason Mount's stepping up to the challenge at the moment. And if you've got a player that's playing as well as he is, from a Chelsea perspective and an England perspective, going into this rich vein of form at the moment,
Yeah.
you can not ask any more of him, really, can you?
He's making me look very much forward to the World Cup. So I think he's such an impactful player, and he'll do the same for England as well.
You're absolutely right. And again, there's also the confidence. Like, you know, you kind of hinted there about how he must be feeling, and going into the World Cup as a fan, you're feeling confident. As a player, you'll be feeling that confidence as well. From the manager's perspective, the 2 players that he's put a lot of trust in since he's come in has been Kepa and Mason Mount, and they've proved today why he's doing that.
Yeah, I guess there's certain things in football, like as people that look at football, analyse it, whatever it might be, you can look at maybe their goals per game, their stats for this, that, but you can't really put a number to confidence. You can't really say that, okay, yeah, if someone has a better save percentage here, but their confidence is low, and someone else whose save percentage might be worse, but their confidence is high. And that actually, when it comes down to it, is all about maybe the eye test, and you see them in game, and you see how they are on the pitch, and how their teammates are interacting with them. And it's not just confidence in that person, but also the confidence in their teammates for that person playing. And you're seeing that with Kepa Arrizabalaga at the moment, huge performance today. But then you also see it with Mason Mount. Like, no one there is challenging Mason when he's at that free kick. He knows he's got it there. He's driven, and he's someone that has proven it time and time again. Every single time someone comes to doubt him, his confidence goes above that, and he shows why there's no point in doubting him.
That's such a great point as well, Leonie, because we know that Kepa and Mason are both hugely popular figures within the Chelsea dressing room, both brilliant characters as well, and both of them have had to deal with sort of the mental side of the game, both having question marks over their performances, and have really shown that. But we know that Graham Potter puts a lot of trust in the person. You know, he spoke this week about the person rather than the football player within them. You can see really why he invests so much in the person, because Kepa and Mason Mount are showing exactly why, if you trust them as a person, you get the best out of them as a player as well.
And there's a reason why they keep starting these games as well, and that's another 90 minutes for Kepa. So, you know, Potter is instilling this confidence in them as well, and it's paying off on the pitch. So, as a Chelsea fan, it's the best thing to see right now.
It really is. And you know that Mason Mount's a leader. You know, everyone's been speaking about future Chelsea captain. That's always put on him whenever he's played well. He's captained Chelsea on a number of occasions already. But also Kepa as well, for a player that's been around the dressing room a lot longer than a lot of people even remember. You know, he's been at the club a little while now. Yeah. He is a leader within the dressing room, and you can see why as well, because he's so vocal on the pitch. And I remember during lockdown, he was one of the first players you'd hear.
Yeah.
Those leadership qualities will be so important to a new manager, to have players like that to lean on.
Well, even when he's been on the bench, he's always been a vocal person off the bench. So I've seen many times journalists say, I can hear this voice coming from the Chelsea bench, and it's Kepa. He's always been at it, and yeah, it is really nice to see. Obviously, Graham Potter's come in as well. He's brought in his goalkeeper coach too. Seems to have had a massive effect, and just sometimes having that kind of fresh slate, having that ability to have to prove again to the new manager, whatever it is, that you've got this chance. Obviously, it kind of helped as well that obviously Mendy was injured at the time, so Kepa kind of was the guy that was going to be starting. But this kind of game and the games that have happened are all just momentum for that next match, and just building towards it, and just knowing that he's going into that game having just... So, for instance, the game on Wednesday with Brentford, he's going into that game with everyone being like, wow, Kepa is the Brentford players, Tony, whatever it is who he'll come up against, will be thinking, goodness gracious, like that was a crazy performance by Kepa Arrizabalaga. We've got to do well to beat him. And yeah, for a guy who has been through a lot, I think, at Chelsea, ups and downs, it's really nice to see him kind of come up to this stage of his career and perform like at a very, very high level.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And there's a lovely moment as well today. Obviously, Mason Mount making a real moment for Reece James, holding up 24 to for his Chelsea and England international teammate. We said before the game, Leonie, about how big a miss Reece is.
Yeah.
he's such a big player for the club. He's such a big presence as well. There is an element of that rally around each other, you know, and especially Mason Mount, someone that he's very close with and has obviously grown up playing football with. It will mean a lot to Mason now to maybe step up a little bit more and to put a performance on for that for Reece as well, to show that, you know, we are going to miss him, but this squad will dig in deeper for Reece's absence. Oh,
they'll play for him now, absolutely. They'll know he'll be watching at home, and they'll be, you know, they'll feel his support even though he's not there. And like I say, he's such a big player with such a big, like, really positive mental attitude. So that is pass through the team, and they'll feel it when they're playing, even though he's not there. And like I say, they'll want to be doing it for him now.
No, you're absolutely right. And even when Reece isn't playing, you see him at Kingsmeadow quite a lot, supporting Lauren in Chelsea women's games, and I'm sure that we'll see him a lot through the next coming weeks at Stamford Bridge as well. Right, here's what's coming up this week on the Fifth Stand for you then to get stuck into. Don't forget, Tuesday evening, highlights of the Papa John's Trophy. Chelsea going okay in that, actually, recently, a recent win against Oxford, so hopefully continuing off that. And then Wednesday, Matchday Live from 6:45 as Chelsea travel to Brentford. OK then, so one word to sum up this afternoon, Leonie, what are you saying?
I am going with consistent, as in consistent goals and consistent clean sheet.
Good work. Zach?
Arrizabalaga. Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It counts as a word, I think. I think that counts as a word. Brilliant as always, both of you. Thank you very much. Chelsea getting points on the road. A 2-0 win at Villa Park this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.